Hello and thank you for joining me today. I am Olamide Onifade, your host on Space and Style, a show that dissects the interesting world of real estate, architecture, interior design trends, and much more. Today, we are going to be discussing a very pertinent issue, and that is the importance of home security. I know that decorating your home is much more fun than taking preventive measures to defend your home against intruders, but according to statistics, there's a case of home invasion every 40 seconds somewhere around the world. With this devastating news, your home security should take precedence over every other thing. Today, I will be joined by a leading security expert, but before we go into this discussion, we have Joy Agbamuche, an interior designer who will be sharing various tips on how to update your kitchen without ripping it apart. Enjoy.
Hello, my name is Joy Agbamuche. Today I want to share with us tips on how to mix patterns without feeling overwhelmed. I'm sure you've walked into some spaces, and even though it looks kind of designed, but it's so overwhelming. The reason is maybe because the patterns are too much, or they are clashing, or all of that. So I want to show you how you can mix your patterns and not get overwhelmed by the presence of those patterns in the room. First tip is, please limit the number of patterns you're using to 3 or less. For me, less is more. Except you are a pro at mixing patterns. I know some people are very professional at mixing patterns. They can even mix up to 5 without, without it clashing. But if you're not at that level, limit your patterns to 3 or less. 1 for me is even enough. Yes, if you want to create that serene, calming atmosphere, ambience, just less pattern is better. Number 2 tip is, make sure that you have like a unifying color, a single color that is running through those 3 patterns. For instance, if blue is in your color scheme, make sure that the 3 patterns all have blue in them. That way it is restful to look at, because there is something that is tying all of them together. And number 3, ensure that you mix and match the scale of the patterns. So don't go using all large patterns or all tiny patterns. Make sure that you have large patterns followed by medium and then followed by small patterns. Finally, my last tip will be, add a mix of plain. All right, so adding plains ensures that the space is restful to the eyes, it's calming and and comforting and beautiful to look at. So what that means is that, for example, if you're using 6 pattern throw pillows, for instance, you can use 3 pattern throw pillows and 2 plain ones. Or for instance, if your rug is patterned, ensure that your sofa is plain. So just mix and match plain and pattern so it doesn't get overwhelming and it doesn't get too busy. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you found this helpful. I'll see you next time. Take care and bye-bye.
Thank you for staying with us. I am joined in the studio by Mr. Dickson Osajie. He is a military veteran and the CEO of the Breeze Protection Services, a licensed private security company with over 25 years of experience. Mr. Dickson, if I'm going to be talking about security with any other person, I don't know who else I'm going to be talking about. It has to be you. 1, I like your expertise. I've been with you on different shows, and particularly because there are not much security experts in Nigeria. Why is that so?
It's an honor. Thank you for having me on your show. Good evening.
Good evening.
When you say, why are there not much security experts? I think every person is a security expert. If you leave your house every day and you get back home, you are a security expert to yourself, because the cautiousness you keep every day, tells you are security conscious. And maybe the whole essence of being a security expert is the certification and knowledge base and
And more
professionalism
experience.
and experience, attached to it, and being able to teach people how to be safety conscious and being able, to be a master in your field. So that makes you a security expert. So.
Okay, so to dive into the conversation, because we have limited time, and I know we have a lot to chew. On a scale of 1 to 100,
All right.
how would you rate Nigerians and our home security? I'm not talking about personal security when we go out. When we talk about taking adequate protection to secure our homes, on a scale of 1 to 100, how would you rate us?
Well, nobody wants to die. Nobody wants to live in a vulnerable state. But if you talk about on a scale of 1 to 100, I would say 75. 75 in the sense that most people want to live and, ply around their businesses, carry out their activities every day and now. So I think nobody wants to be caught in a state of unrest. Nobody wants to be caught in a state of burglary and robbery and whatever the case may be. So we'll talk about home security. Home security is an holistic component. It deals with a lot of strategies. Most times people think the home is a refuge place. It's where you just fall back home and rest. But quite regrettably, most people, got killed in their own house.
Right in their own homes.
Got killed in their own homes. And this boiled down to some mistakes they carry out. And a line of our discussion, we'll be talking about, mitigation factors. I'll also be talking about the reason why most people fall vulnerable. Sometimes people gamble with their lives, and they don't want to put things in check.
I was going to come to something that's always bothered me.
Okay.
You see a typical Nigerian.
Okay.
We build a home of about 120 million naira.
Okay.
And you secure it with an unskilled security guard who you pay barely 20 to 30,000 naira. So how can you have an investment of that huge amount and you're securing your life and your property with such a meager amount? So why do Nigerians take the issue of security, especially home security, with so much levity?
Well, it's individual based because sometimes that's a very fantastic question, Olamide, with all honesty. Most people think, well, I am not really not divine protection. I believe in divine protection. Divine protection, it says that, there's this local balance, now God is safe person, God is safe person. If God is safe person, jump, enter express road, close eye. You understand? So you see that you yourself needs to be subconscious. You need to also understand that you need to put in mitigation factors to ensure that you are not caught along the line. You understand? So if I come to your question, why do people spend billions or millions? And that's part of my own security, analogy. I do tell them that if security is expensive, why not try danger? Because if you think security is expensive, then you try danger. People spend billions, millions to buy properties, but if it comes down to pay for security services, they go for the unskilled, they go for, I don't want to use the word malam, or maybe this, unlicensed security company, or licensed security guards, or whatever the case may be, just because they want to, abuse labor. You use the security guard to wash your car, use the security guard to go and buy go and buy you food, use the security guard to lock the gate, use the security guard to go and get you soap and omo, get you other things, and at the end of the day, you become vulnerable. So I think there's a problem there in the sense that they need to understand that security is expensive. Yeah.
Okay, so that takes us to, how do you vet people that work with you, especially when it comes to security? What would you advise on how to source for your domestic servants? Because if you look at it, something happened very close home.
Okay.
My uncle and auntie just got killed right in their home.
Oh, wow. So sorry to hear that.
So I don't understand how it
in
happened.
their home?
Right in their home.
Wow.
Elderly couple. Okay. So I'm asking, how do you source for, how are you able to vet who and who works for you?
Well, basically, first of all, we need to understand what home security is all about. If you understand what home security is all about, you'll be able to understand what you need to put in place to, and having mitigation factors. Well, if I want to say it in a very short term, home security is bringing together all security components or security measures to ensure that you, yourself, your family and friends or whatever the case may be live in a peaceful state without being harmed or
So
being
where do we
intimidated.
start from?
Now, when you ask me where do we start from, it all starts from personal security. Now, you see, if you look into statistics majorly, you rightly talked about the sad story of your uncle. It has been happening in most of our homes, and it's so sad that most times it happens, between domestic staff and their master. Like the first Nigerian pilot, Captain Adiza, immediately she arrived from Germany. She got to her body-law home, not knowing that her domestic staff has planned, her exit from this planet, and she was killed by her domestic staff. Other examples of domestic staff killing their master. It all boils down to trust. Most times people don't carry a background check on their domestic staff. What you just do is just say, hey, Olamide, I beg, if they come from village, can you just kindly look for one house girl or house boy? I need somebody. You say, oh yes, in my village there are many ladies and girls that are jobless. No, that is not how to do it. Most times people don't want to pass through the process. You need to have people that you need to have people you hold accountable. And that's where accountability is very essential when it comes to domestic staffing and background checking. So if you observe the killing of Adiza, the killing of a driver killed his boss, and the murder of his boss, 89-year-old woman, 2 years ago in Surulere, and other incidents. I don't want to mention names so that families don't, start going through pain again due to memories. So what really happened here is, lack of mitigation factors, lack of background check. Carry out an effective background check. 2 years ago, we tried to get to Niger Republic to go and, arrest an Aboki, let me say, a guy from the Niger Republic that killed his master here in Lagos. There is no BVN, there is no national identity card. The person does not have anything. We couldn't even trace him. But he committed the act and goes scot-free.
So he went scot-free?
He went scot-free because we can't identify him. So what we need to start doing is that we need to have an identity base. Make sure that all your domestic staff, no matter how close you are with them, get their file, get them investigated, check their background, check their family, check where they are coming from, where is their home. Is it possible this person has committed a crime some places or somewhere, and you give that person an appointment, at the end of the day, it just become a mess? There is no domestic crisis that happened or domestic incident that happened without the knowledge of an insider. And that is why one of the most dangerous threats we are being faced today is insider threats. There is an Arabian parable that says that it is even better to have 1,000 enemies outside than to have one singular enemy inside.
Mr. Dickson,
that one singular enemy can cause a big problem.
Hold your thoughts. We'll be right back.
Thank you.
Thank you for staying with us. We are still talking about home security with Dickson Osajie. Please stay with us. We'll be back shortly. Thank you for staying with us. You're still watching Space and Style. So, as you were saying, there was a lot. I was just taking in a lot. It's a bit overwhelming.
Oh, yeah.
So, you've said a lot. We don't do background checks. We just take our security with so much levity and all of that. So, advise us.
Yeah.
What should we do when we are taking especially domestic staff? Where do we start from? What should we do? Then, what are the tips that we can take in the home to fortify our homes against intruders?
All right. Security is very sensitive and complex. Like when Sir Alfred Rwani was assassinated in his home, the assassins, break in through deception. Despite all the security check, they tried to assassinate him outside. They were unable. But what they did was that they picked the identity of his business and, design a vehicle with the name of his business. Immediately they got in there. The security guy said, na company motor, yeah, make it enter, make it enter. Behold, they were assassins. So security is complex. Complex in the sense that you need to have a home security policy, first of all. Every home needs to have a home security policy. And that security policies must be adhered by all the domestic staffs. Having carried out a background check, vet all your staff, make sure you have their national identity card, make sure you have their identity numbers, and let them know that you know who they are and you know where they're coming from. And let them know in the case of anything, the police have their identity. Make sure you capture their fingerprints, that is, take them to Nigerian police fingerprint, Alagbon, get their fingerprints in the case of anyone that want to take a departure after occasioning a crime. That is on the area of background check. Then we also make some mistake. Hadiza was killed because she always displayed her jewelry and her gold. and it got into
Display
the
of
yes,
affluence.
the display of affluence. Thank you. So whenever she come back from her trip as a pilot, the drivers will help her to take her bags upstairs. On getting upstairs, they will see dollars and pounds and everything, and they were enticed with those dollars. And that is one of the reasons one of those guys, took her life. So you need to very carefully display your products or your items within your premises and whatever the case may be. I'm not saying you don't trust your domestic staff. You need to trust them, but you need to let them know that you trust them, but you are not going to take chances. Then one of the mistakes Captain Adiza, I'm using Captain Adiza as a case study because of home security, because I feel so bad because of the error she made. One of the mistakes there was that she fire and hire. Don't fire and rehire. The person that killed her was once sacked. So immediately that person was sacked. The present security guard now told her that I'm going for a burial. My mother is late. She now said, who will come and hold brief? She now called back the person she fired. And when you fire someone and rehire person, that person, the loyalty is no longer there, and the person will not trust you. So when she rehired Paul has no option than to set her up with assassins, and that's how she was killed. So don't fire and rehire. I don't do that in my company.
So once that person goes,
let him go.
It's a permanent.
If you want to help that person in any way, help him. But if you want to call him back, he or she no longer trusts you. So that area should be well taken care of. Then on the area of technology, you need to have your CCTV at home. The whole essence of CCTV is to curtail two things: crime in progress and after the occasion of crime. Crime in progress in the sense that in this technological era, you can be in the United States and be watching your home. Like me, sometimes I can be watching my home anywhere in the world, in any part of the world. That's technology for you. You have CCTV
But sometimes,
to monitor crime in progress.
Sometimes these people disable it.
You know what?
Sometimes they get it disabled.
Yeah, so before they disable it, basically you're going to see, for example, if I'm walking to a CCTV to go and disable the CCTV, there's going to be a record, a record of a previous event, whatever the case may be. If you have live recording, you can be able to track whatever transpired, what happened. That's why you need to carry out a risk assessment of your home every day and every time. Then your security guards,
sorry, what do you mean by carrying out a risk assessment?
Assessment in the sense that, for example, you talked about your late uncle, whatever the case may be. I think for someone to have gained access into the house, maybe a door must have been left open, or there's a compromise by the security guards, or maybe there's a problem with the keys, or maybe the keys has been compromised. And that's why, like me, each time I move to a new home, don't just say, give me key, agent, give me key. Which key? Change all the keys and have your own new keys, because it's very risky for you to, take over keys from a previous tenant and you start using those keys. What if someone has mastered that key or cut that key, or
or even taken from it?
Yeah, taken from it, whatever it can be. So that's why sometimes you need to carry an assessment of your home. Then check your vulnerable areas. The fence is the fence up to standard? Then your lighting is it well lighted? Then your home itself, because security is process. You need to pass the gates, pass the security, come to the residence, open the door, then go to your home. So what do? You need to have burglary proof. That is the essence of burglary proof. So it is very important for you to make sure that you have all those mitigation factors in place, because criminals don't like delay. Give them that delay.
But in real estate, there's a trend now of glass homes, all glass homes and all of that.
Okay.
Some have burglary, but sometimes they don't.
They don't, yeah.
So that's the trend now.
Yeah.
It's aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah.
But is it functional? So if I still want to have that in my home, what should I do?
You want to have a glass house?
I want to have a glass house.
Well, you need to pick between life and death.
You don't think you can't fortify glasses?
Yeah, no, anyway, you are very correct. On the area glass house now, you can fortify glasses. Just like an armored car, you can have level 1, level 2, level 3,
but that would be
level
very
6.
Expensive.
It's expensive. That's why I earlier said if security is expensive, try danger. Because most times when you check the amount of money it costs you to put in all security measures in place, to be very honest, it's very cheap. It's cheaper compared to the loss of incident. For example, if you don't spend 2 million naira to put in all security measures in place, the burglary, the glass, the armor glasses and everything, and someone dies, you know what it's going to cost you to run the burial, you know the financial loss, you know the emotional pain the family is going to go through, you know the security and police process you need to follow through. That is why I will advise every homeowners to ensure that they fortify their homes. spend money to fortify your home. Make sure you have an effective security. Please do not hire security guards that are not from a reputable security company. In the case of any incident, you know who to hold on to. And that is why most times if you hire security guards that are from a reputable security company, those security companies must have carried out a background check and the assessment of those guys before they supply you those guys. Don't go for cheap labor, because when you go for cheap labor, you're going to put your life at risk. And finally, I think you need to also make sure your own self, you need to watch your movement as well. Check your business schedules. For example, what are you into? Are you into a drug? Are you into real business? Whatever the case may be, because the risk sometimes goes in line with what you do. And sometimes you might be a legitimate business person and people just think that, hey, they want to capitalize on your vulnerability because you're a very rich man. And that is why most of these domestic guys, they want to take out their masters.
And sometimes you even you feed them the information. Sometimes you're in the car,
yes,
you're talking about millions.
Yes. When is the container
Yes,
arrived?
you're disclosing.
Olamide, I never signed that check. Almost, you say, it's 30 million. This security, the driver here will be pumping. There was a time I was discussing business with my clients in the car. My wife was seated close to me. And she pinched hell out of me. I forgot that my driver was there. She pinched me. Immediately I got that pinch. I knew that was a communication. And I looked at her. She just looked at me and gave me a sign. The driver is listening to your conversation. I said, wow. You understand? And that conversation is very important. So I have to tell the driver to pull over in a police station and excuse us. And I carry that. And thanks to my wife. Sometimes we need to be cautious. Each time you go up the line, I think you need to come back and ensure that you protect your life. Once you are gone, you are gone. We don't have 2 lives to live. We have only 1 life to live. So your home is your refuge place, but you need to fortify your security. Background check is very important and every other thing.
Mr. Dickson, honestly, I don't want this discussion to come to an end. But unfortunately, we have run out of time. But promise me you would always come back.
Oh, sure.
Because
it's a beautiful show.
We can never exhaust security issues.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we must end the conversation at this point with our guest. And I hope you gained relevant knowledge when it comes to securing your home. Coming up next to end the show is the artisan sport. Please enjoy.
My name is Mr. Tajuddin Amusa. Okay, if the client is a novice, there is no 2 things about tiles. It is either for wall or for floor.
How do you choose?
Now, we have floor tiles different, and they are of different sizes. At the same time, we have wall tiles different, and they are of different sizes also. Now, to take you to the different sizes, when you see this one now, this is 60 by 60, or we call it 600 by 600 mm. They are for floor tiles. So this one is 400 by 400 or 40 by 40, as the case may be. They are all for floor tiles. So it depends on individual, and at the same time it depends on how wide the place is. If the place is wider, we advise the client to use bigger tiles, and if the place is small, we advise the client to use we have 2 different types of floor tiles. We have the glaze, that is the gloss type, and at the same time we have mat. That mat is gripping. When you step on it, it will grip your movement. It doesn't slip. So it depends on individual where they want to use it for. They use all this one for the mat one. It can be used for kitchen floor or for toilet floor. So when they are bathing, it will not slip. It's not slippery. These are the parts of the wall tiles. Mainly these ones are used for outside wall tiles, either fence, the wall, or pillar outside. So that's the place they use all these ones for. As we deal with tiles, so we know the difference. We have to tell the client that this one is meant for outside and these ones are meant for inside bedroom or kitchen. Mainly, wall tiles are gloss tiles because that is where you bath. If it is bedroom, that's where you bathe. So the water falls on it and drops down. So mainly we don't have mat for wall tiles. And these are part of the small sizes of floor tiles that we use for both bedroom and kitchen. Prevent accident in the bathroom by using the correct tiles, which is mat tiles, the tiles that grips leg, that if water falls on it, it will not be slippery. So that's the only way. Well, as you have known, this is Nigeria. Our economic and all this affects us because mainly the tiles we use before were 80 or 90% imported. But now we are having like 30% importation now and 70% ours here. So we face a lot of challenges for importing the tiles because of the dollar rate, fluctuation of the dollar and this, that. So that's just the challenges.
Thank you very much.
Thank you too. You are welcome.
We have come to the end of the show this week. I hope you enjoyed it. My name is Olamide Onifade, and thank you so much for watching. Until I see you again next week, this is Space and Style.